If you come into the 90 Day fan base as a new fan, there's one couple you will hear about more than any other couple: Danielle and Mohamed.
I'll get your ass deported.
Two people who started as fiancés, but quickly turned to enemies.
You're a user, Mohammed.
This is so embarrassing.
That's a whole family he's affected.
They proclaimed to everyone their marriage would work, but it crumbled in an environment of toxicity and destruction.
He's on the phone calling the cops. I have 10 police reports on me.
She lied to me, but not only about her finances, about everything. There is even domestic violence with her son.
And no one will ever forget the most shocking reveal about a reality star's downtown area ever.
He has told people that I smell and I
You do.
peed on him.
Nobody will have sex with someone like you.
Mohamed and Danielle became some of the biggest stars on the TLC network. People couldn't get enough of them. A hot young Muslim using a naive mom in Ohio. What more could you ask for? But there's more to this story than initially meets the eye. Mohamed wasn't the only bad guy in this relationship, with Danielle pulling things that would send even the most loyal ride or die scurrying off into the woods looking for help, falling into the arms of a man named Walmart Tom, who would then pave the way for many a hot young lady to become Mohamed's escape route. Join me as we dive into the jaw-dropping, twisted world of a 43-year-old mother from Ohio and her 26-year-old Tunisian fiancé, Mohamed.
Stop crying, stop crying.
Decades before they would go on to be the most famous couple in 90 Day history, Danielle and Mohamed were busy living their pre-fame lives in different countries. Danielle Jabelli was born Danielle Mullins on February 24th, 1973. She attended New London High School in Ohio, as well as Ehove Joint Vocational, along with the class of 1992. At some point, she has her first and oldest son, Corey. This is the child Mohamed would go on to get a restraining order against. Then she gets together with a man named Chris Welch, whom she had 3 daughters with: Faith, Kylie, and Brianna. They do appear a lot on camera in the initial seasons Danielle's on the show, and although they're usually good sports about their mom, I think you can attribute a lot of the criticism Danielle gets to fans not liking the way she seems to put her lust for this Tunisian hottie over meeting the basic needs of her daughters. Danielle has worked in medical care most of her adult life.
I take care of mentally handicapped individuals. Not a lot of pay, but I enjoy doing the job.
Now, one thing that is going to come up in this saga a lot is that Danielle spends her late 20s, 30s, and 40s in and out of court. She has an eviction on her record as early as 1999, when she would have been 26. We are going to go way more in depth on Danielle's criminal past later, but for now, the picture we have is of a woman who has 4 kids, is constantly struggling to pay her bills, and is going to choose to focus on her new overseas boyfriend, rather than her multiple children that were a result of her previous boyfriend. Speaking of the Tunisian hottie Danielle would spend thousands on while she was getting evicted left and right, Mohamed Jabelli was born on March 7th, 1988. And that's pretty much all we know about him. We know he brought Danielle to Qatar. There were some rumors online that came from an article I couldn't find that he was once working in a warehouse while he was in Qatar. It's hard to say exactly what Mohamed was doing with his time in Qatar, but whatever the case, something made him decide to go online and get into a relationship with a woman 15 years older than him. Mohamed does not talk a lot about himself or his family. There's so much conflict to film between Danielle and Mohamed that there's not a lot of time to get into either one of their backgrounds. It's not like when Darcy met Tob and we got a whole segment on him and his sister salsa dancing.
My hip swaying.
Mohamed, for me, is still somewhat of a mystery, even after multiple seasons on this show. We see him playing pool, putting a lot of effort into his looks, and of course he talks a lot about his religion. Being Muslim is the number one thing we learn about Mohamed, but I will say he appears to kind of have a wild phase during the divorce where he's staying out all night. We know this from the police reports. They slept together before they got married. And when they finally break up, he's going to run straight into the arms of half a dozen 20-somethings in bikinis. So he's not a one-note guy. And also, it's part of the reason people sometimes accuse him of using his religion to avoid Danielle. It's like he bolts from Danielle, and all of a sudden, all of his new friends look like they're auditioning to be on MTV Spring Break. I just aged myself there. Danielle and Mohamed met in an online chat room.
He was 24. We fell in love.
Mohamed proposed to Danielle after 4 or 5 months of online chatting.
I was resistant at first.
Knowing everything we know now about their journey, seems a little hard to believe there was any resistance. Kind of like when there's one appetizer left and you're in a group and everybody's like, no, you take, no, you, I can't, no, please, somebody's got to eat the last croquette, please. And then inevitably, Amanda will eat, it's like, I'm that person in the fan group. Oh, Amanda will eat it. Give Amanda the croquette. And then, of course, I have to do the whole routine too. No, please don't. I can't eat the last croquette. I couldn't possibly. And then by the time somebody else goes to reach for the last croquette, it's already halfway down my esophagus. And I'm like, sorry, did you want that? They apply for the K-1 visa, and Mohamed's arrival to America is something I will never forget.
I couldn't let him go when I seen him.
The way Danielle clings to Mohamed, like a pack of mosquitoes on a vat of Kool-Aid, it's like, is that woman gonna have a breakdown? Yes, she is.
Okay, let's go.
No.
There are 2 things that become clear the moment Mohamed arrives in America. 1, that Mohamed is very much not into Danielle. And 2, that Danielle is in complete denial of this. She spends every moment there on camera touching him, hugging him, kissing him, and he looks like this.
I'll be fine till after we get
He's like, I am in hell?
married.
It's okay. Daniel is acceptable for me.
The Danielle is acceptable for me line would go on to live in infamy. If you're ever in a 90-day comment section and you see people talking about things that are acceptable to them, this line is why. This line will also serve both the Mohamed attackers and the Mohamed defenders, which I find fascinating. The attackers are like, who says that about their future wife? The defenders look at that line and see a man who genuinely wanted to make a business arrangement work, who wasn't willing to play pretend, but had the intention of marrying to improve his life, yes, not marrying to just get the green card. And of course, I think a lot of fans are in the ¿Por qué no los dos camp? Danielle may not have known Mohamed's true intentions or what percentage of the marriage for him was based in love, but it becomes evident Mohamed is being taken for a ride here too. Slowly over their debut season, we realize Mohamed had absolutely no idea the type of existence that was waiting for him in Sandusky, Ohio. Shortly after he arrives, Danielle loses her job.
I am worried about how we were going to pay the bills.
I didn't expect that life will be like this here. I can't stay if there is no food, there is no electricity, no water.
Mohamed just found out about some past due bills after our cell phones just got shut off.
Why you didn't tell me that you have problems before I come here?
Because I was scared that you wouldn't want me. But I'm afraid that you're going to leave.
I'm not going to leave because of the problems. I will never leave because of the problems. I will leave only if you keep doing things by yourself.
Well, Mohamed wouldn't be so quick to make promises.
Danielle don't get why I left Ohio because she is used to have a miserable life. For her, that's normal. I cannot have that kind of life.
There Their wedding is a complete disaster. By the time it arrives, everyone in Danielle's family has figured out it's a sham marriage.
I feel like my mom's being naive. Like it all just goes right over her head.
I am not gonna stand behind a marriage that is a sham.
Mohamed leaves Danielle hanging on a rope on whether he's even going to go through with the marriage.
I need to think about if we're going to get married or not.
He tells her, oh, the day of the wedding, that's when you'll know what my choice is. If you're wondering how this couple got so big, it's stuff like this. And Mohamed isn't kidding either. He really does appear to go back and forth over this decision. This isn't him trying to make good television. This is him realizing that he can do whatever he wants because Danielle is so obsessed with him. Mohamed famously goes to see a lawyer the day they're supposed to be getting married.
Now it's 9:35. The wedding will be at 5.
It's a scene that will become familiar to 90 Day fans. The non-American inside an attorney's office learning that they can be held liable for their partner's debts. The most recent reincarnation of this scene was with Ashley and Manuel.
How much student loan debt do you have?
About $100K.
Yeah.
100,000 en deuda tienes. ¿Quieres lo gato?
At the lawyer's office, Mohamed is confused on why it takes so long to get a green card. He's like, what? I thought everything in America was like fast food. Why is the green card process like a crock pot?
Why it takes so long time?
There's a lot of fraud.
Mohamed's like, oh, really? Huh. You don't say. The groom-to-be gets back home and it's utter chaos.
The girls are worried that he's going to leave. So am I.
Danielle's bawling her eyes out. Mohamed's on the phone to his friend saying he never wanted to come to America. The girls are all following them around like they've got front row seats. But also, it's super disturbing that all of this is happening in front of the kids. And this is one of the first signs that nobody is taking into account how this is impacting the girls. Faith casually mentions that she had a backup plan to go stay with a friend if Mohamed decided not to marry her mom, which is seemingly to avoid a Danielle tantrum.
It was one of the worst mornings of my life waiting for Mohamed to decide.
As Danielle's entire family tells the audience they think this is a huge mistake, we watch Danielle and Mohamed go through with their outdoor Ohio wedding.
This is gonna be a disaster.
Corey walks his mom down the aisle in cargo shorts. Danielle doesn't look nearly as happy as I thought she'd be. I wonder if somewhere in the back of her mind there is a giant red flag waving, going, hey, 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 look at the faces of production. Have you seen those faces? That is pure joy. Danielle, they are absolutely overjoyed. Why would they be so happy? Huh? Think about it. Why does production look like the villain from Home Alone 2? Because this is a total disaster and they know it's gonna bring ratings. If you're a repeat offender in the Danielle and Mohamed watch department like me, by far the clip you will have seen more than any other clip is Mohamed telling everyone at the wedding that, they will not be kissing during Ramadan.
I'm not allowed to kiss in this time. There is some specific things we do it in my religion in this month. In Ramadan, it's not acceptable to make kisses outside in front of all people.
This was one of the first debates that developed in the fan base early on about whether Mohamed was using his religion or not to avoid kissing Danielle. I found a lot of commenters on social media backing Mohamed up, but then I found a lot of blog posts and articles and also other internet commenters that do not back Mohamed up. Again, to this I say, ¿por qué no los dos? Can't the man be devout in his faith and not want to make out with Danielle? The crowd sort of negotiates a couple cheek kisses, which is awkward and sad.
We can kiss you though. Can she on the cheek? Ah, there we go.
The shot of them dancing does not bring a lot of hope. Then in their confessional right after the wedding, Mohamed's face takes on the expression of pure disdain. Suffice to say, nobody watching this in the real time thought this marriage would last. There's no denying this relationship was a dumpster fire. Let's start with Danielle's financial difficulties. Imagine moving halfway across the globe for somebody and learning they haven't been remotely honest with you about their finances or their ability to pay their bills.
And everything was going good up until they came and shut off the electric.
This is one of the things Mohamed specifically said he could not live without: electricity. And I mean, frankly, I get it. He's not asking for a Mercedes here. He wants to be able to charge his phone so he can talk to his family, who he is farther away than he has ever been from. And Danielle says all the time on the show, she expected Mohamed to come in and save her from her financial crisis. But she clearly did not tell him that he was going to be in the hole right away. She was not honest with him about the evictions. It's like hiring somebody to be the manager of an Applebee's, and when they get there, you're like, okay, here's a shovel. You're going to be literally building an Applebee's. Hope you have experience building an Applebee's. Another issue is Danielle's habit of crying or throwing tantrums instead of trying to fix their problems.
Walking out of the set. Again.
This is exactly what she does every single time that you tell her something that she doesn't like.
Uh-oh.
Don't say
Oh, no, don't cry. Don't do it, Danielle, no.
Baby girl, don't cry.
I wish that I could have seen that Mohamed when we were together.
Come on, Danielle.
I did not have my siblings because I was with him and defended him. If that's not love, what is it?
Obsessive compulsive lust disorder. Another issue, and one of the reasons some fans aim to reevaluate maybe who was ripping off who is the very carnal attraction to Mohamed Danielle displays. We're gonna get more into this when we talk about the Jerry Springer style tell-all they do in a few seasons, but some fans kind of feel Danielle viewed Mohamed as her sex toy. But when asked about it, Danielle is like, oh, no, I would have brought him over if he was 80 and 500 pounds. It's just a coincidence. He's a 20-something hottie.
Me and Mohamed only consummated our marriage once. It does hurt.
This is like when something you've never used breaks and you're like, I never even used it. It kind of shows how childlike Danielle is. It's a very immature response to view someone's penis that way. It's not a ride at Six Flags. It's a human person. And oh, by the way, I cannot believe that you are bringing up your sex life knowing what Mohamed's problem with it is. And what he could potentially say is the reason y'all aren't getting it on like Donkey Kong. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. We haven't even gotten to Danielle chucking the evidence binder at him in Miami.
I feel like if he walked through that door and said, oh, Danielle, I want you back, this table would probably be knocked over.
The brother-in-law has smelled what Danielle's got cooking up under there. And it smells like teen spirit. This issue really never gets dropped.
We were newlyweds. Newlyweds are always touching each other, filling each other, making love with each other.
Danielle spends a good season being bitter about only getting one go around with Mohamed after the wedding.
Mohamed not sleeping with me is proof that he was not here for the right reasons.
It's hard to know what life was like in the initial days after the wedding, but I can't imagine things were going super great. According to Norwalk Municipal Court records, there is an incident with Danielle's son where Mohamed ends up getting a restraining order against him. That takes place on November 3rd of 2014, roughly 3 months after their July 2014 wedding.
Everything was going good up until they came and shut off the electric. Then Mohamed just left.
So he's fighting with her children to the point that police are getting called. There's no money. Utilities are being shut off. I assume, based off Danielle's whole life, an eviction is probably looming. And Mohamed does what I think most people would do in his position. He bails.
He's leaving 3 girls that love and care about him. That's a whole family he's affecting.
Watching it live must have felt like watching the Sistine Chapel being painted. He's legitimately on the run. He's not mic'd up. Production basically walks into the house and catches him off guard.
I'm free. I do whatever I want. I go wherever I want.
Are you gonna stay here now?
I didn't decide.
I think in the beginning he did love me, but then he started getting attention from prettier, better looking women. I think he changed.
Danielle is still in denial. She thinks he has been stolen, when in reality, he was gone the second he realized he'd been duped into marrying a financial career criminal. Although I do appreciate Beth's perspective on this.
Well, let me make it very clear. He's a whore.
So it is fascinating the way Mohamed seemed to almost need like a palate cleanser after Danielle.
He went to New York a couple times. He's been to Vegas, and he went on the trips with other women.
I want to have company.
This is what Mohamed looks like when he likes a lady. The footage of him arriving to meet Danielle is what Mohamed looks like when he's in the depths of hell.
Sometimes I think I should have waited to bring him over.
Interesting to me that at this point, Danielle still won't go full, oh yeah, I should have had nothing to do with this guy. Starting on July 26th, 2014, there are over 9 police reports having to do with Danielle, Mohamed, or their family. It appears their life off the show was even crazier than their life on camera. All of these police reports are part of public record, by the way. Deputy and I responded to the 11,000 block. The vehicle had pulled off of the roadway at SR. Officer Crew from the Milan Police Department was flagged down by Mohamed Jebeli. Mohamed stated that he and Danielle are having marital issues. Danielle was supposed to take him to Sandusky. When he found that she was driving to her sister's in Norwalk to speak with a marriage counselor, he asked her to stop and let him out of the car. When Danielle refused to stop, he called 911, claiming he was worried on where he was being taken. Okay, so she kidnapped him. She basically kidnapped Mohamed. These types of incidents plague their marriage all throughout 2014, 2015, and into 2016. Jebeli stated he was driving westbound on Sheed Road with his wife Danielle Mullins. A verbal argument ensued because Mullins didn't like how he was driving. As a result of the argument, Jebeli stated Mullins pulled the emergency brake as the vehicle was in motion. Both parties insisted no further incidents would occur and thanked me for my service. Wow. Help! 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 Officer, she tried to kill me. It's not fair! Everyone always believes Mohamed. And she refuses to go to the doctor, and she's trying to kill my penis. I pulled the emergency brake because I haven't gotten sex in 3 months, and I wanted that brake for my hoo-ha. And he told me, no, you can't have the emergency brake. Can you believe it? He's a user. Officer, I just want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you too. It's not just Mohamed, okay? He's a user. He's just using you. He didn't even pay any taxes. I am the one who is your boss, basically. He just says, I want my emergency brake sex now. Danielle and the girls try to throw Mohamed's clothes out a lot. What's insane to me is that Danielle is going to later on compile this huge binder of evidence she thinks can get her justice, but actually it's Danielle who has the big rap sheet. Not to mention all the evictions we are going to get to. It's almost nonsensical that after all the police reports and the restraining order and the trapping him in her car, that Mohamed still has to break up with Danielle on television.
I'm just here to say bye. Thank you for calling me a moment, and I wish you good luck.
I do love you.
Do you think that he's even still in the Sandusky area?
The opening scene of Happily Ever After Season 1 is straight out of a Liam Neeson movie.
This is George Street now. I don't know where the hell we're at. Danielle?
Danielle and her friend Beth are driving around Ohio looking for Mohamed. Here we meet one of the classic Danielle and Mohamed characters for the first time, known by the fanbase as Big Red.
Karma's gonna get you. Get on that plane, get your ass back to your poor country, reunite with that family goat of yours, and leave her alone.
This is the thriller season of Danielle and Mohamed. We are going to watch Danielle do things that will go down in 90-day history. Monuments will be made out of the Danielle throwing the evidence binder. The season itself is a testament to the Honey Boo Boo-esque level of fame Danielle and Mohamed brought. Normal seasons, there will be a rotation where most of the couples get roughly the same amount of time. In Happily Ever After Season 1, Danielle or Mohamed are on screen every other couple. They constantly go back to Danielle or Mohamed because this is the couple people wanted to see. By the time they reach the tell-alls for this season, production isn't even pretending to give a shit about the other couples.
Yep, this is it.
After After walking out without saying a word to Danielle, Mohamed has not returned. So Danielle and Beth are on a mission. Operation drive to random factories around town and ask them if they've seen a dude named Mohamed.
What to say?
Hello, I'm here to leave a message for Mohamed.
That name does not sound familiar.
I've got Russ, Tyler. Mohamed is just not ringing any bells. Stacy? We have a guy who goes by Stacy. Happily Ever After Season 1 actually brings us 2 historic characters. In addition to Big Red, we meet Walmart Tom, who, you guessed it, meets Mohamed in a Walmart.
My name is Tom. I know Mohamed. I happened to meet him at Walmart.
As someone who grew up in a city in Oklahoma where people hung out at Walmart, and also somebody who worked at Walmart, this does not surprise me. In Middle America, you can always find anything you're looking for at Walmart. Cheap groceries, new friends, and of course, drugs and prostitution. Walmart Tom serves as a mediator between Mohamed and Danielle, often incurring Danielle's wrath as a result.
You know where your voice level's been at most of this conversation?
Yes, because I'm tired of everyone believing Mohamed. I think Mohamed's all innocent. He's getting sex from someone.
Wasted energy.
You believe Mohamed?
Tom is also often referred to online as Neutral Tom, that's N-O-O-T.
I'm neutral.
Although, as Danielle eventually catches on, he's not neutral at all.
Pull the annulment tomorrow. I mean, you obviously love this guy.
Really, what upsets Danielle in this scene is Tom telling her that she should be putting this energy towards her daughters.
You're wasting energy that you could be using to give to your daughters.
Which makes her promptly pack up the evidence binder and leave. Like, how dare you bring up my 3 daughters that I probably left at home sitting alone in the dark with no electricity.
I'd rather have him in my life as a friend than nothing at all.
This really shows Danielle's compassionate side, that even if he's not going to stay with her, she still wishes him well, for now, at least. You really feel for Danielle during these scenes, and it's not shocking that back then people vilified Mohamed.
Please, get over it. I need to move on. Can we please be done with this?
I mean, he has put up with a lot at this point, but he clearly has no empathy for Danielle. Through the convincing of Walmart Tom, or heck, maybe even production is whispering in her ear, "Hey Danielle, how are we gonna film Mohamed if he's deported?" Danielle changes her mind about the annulment, decides to pull it, but not before Mohamed attempts to sabotage the whole thing.
The way you acted yesterday, I felt something wrong with you. Why don't you just say, oh, I'm upset, and try to express yourself without acting weird? Are we gonna park? You always don't know. That's your problem. Yeah, I mean, that's the courthouse. You should tell me something.
Mohamed is really pushing his luck here. I mean, this is like on Survivor when you go to your ally about the plan and they react so poorly, they become the plan. They become the one that you're gonna vote out. Mohamed, Danielle could vote you off the island, and you're berating her after she's already given in to your demands. It's almost as if he wants to be deported back to Tunisia. Whatever the case, basically, as soon as Danielle pulls the annulment, it's back to deportation warfare. Mohamed wants nothing to do with Danielle, and she's like, crap, he fooled me. Well, I guess I'll just go back to stalking him and trying to ruin his life. Walmart Tom talking Danielle into pulling the annulment is going to jumpstart one of the most infamous storylines in reality TV history.
I recently found some information that Mohamed didn't want me to have, and I found it on our joint bank account. Mohamed has changed the address. He's changed the address to a Florida address. I'm going to Miami to find out what is going on.
She's coming from Ohio to Miami just to find me. That's crazy. I'm going to the police station to file for a police report.
I'm scared that his wife come here and do something bad.
That would be palate cleanser number 5 there, with some real fear in her eyes, Gracie. I think most the palate cleansers Mohamed brought on camera with him were clout chasers, but they always got real when they started talking about how afraid of Danielle they were. Danielle flies all the way down to Miami just so she can be told what she already knew and has been told hundreds of times at this point, that Mohamed needs a break and wants nothing to do with her. What exactly is the evidence in the binder?
There's conversations that he's had with women, photos that he's had with women, bank receipts where he's gotten money.
Danielle takes a cab to his Miami home. The encounter is epic.
Listen, I don't want to see you here anymore, okay? Don't waste my time.
Listen to me.
You are not welcome here. So.
Our marriage, you have not been an active partner, spouse to me since we got married. I believe in marriage and
This
take
is
our
too much.
my vows. You can take this too, so you know how serious.
That was nice of you.
You walked away from me. You're a user, Mohamed. You used me. You told me what I wanted to hear. Get me to pull that annulment.
Did he? I mean, to be fair, Muhammad was a huge dick while he was telling you to pull the annulment. It was like, we're gonna be friends, right? And he was like, I guess. Maybe. He was actually not trying to sell her his friendship in exchange for the annulment. It was more like, I'm willing to be with you for 20 minutes in the car while I berate you for being upset about the divorce. If this was anyone but Danielle, they would have been able to see, hey, this guy can't stand me and wants to escape me at all costs. Maybe we're not going to be besties right away. But it's Danielle. So in that it's Danielle way, she's kind of right. He did use her. He did tell her they would be friends knowing full well he needed her to leave him alone for at least a little while. Now, it's possible had she only texted him once instead of like 50 times. Actually, I don't think it matters. He wanted to get away from Danielle, and she wanted to keep their relationship alive. She even admits in the cab ride over that she initially wanted to go down there to quote unquote win him back.
Defendant is guilty of adultery.
Part of what makes this so epic is the way Danielle attempts to litigate this in the court of public opinion at night outside Muhammad's apartment as if the audience was the jury.
Defendant is guilty of extreme cruelty.
Defendant repeatedly told me we would be besties and then ignored my texts. Attached, you'll find Exhibit A, which is a picture of Sabrina Carpenter and Paloma Sandoval. No, I do not believe she is related to Tom Sandoval. This is what true friendship looks like, Your Honor. And Muhammad used me. He's a user. You used me, Muhammad. Look at this. This is not... These people didn't use each other. You're a user, though. One of the things going on here, besides historical television, is that Danielle finally understands she has been outwitted. Her family was like, just get your revenge and deport him. And Danielle was like, no, that's my friend. But obviously, real friends don't call the police when you show up at their front door. Paloma would never. The happily ever after tell-all is when so much of the craziest Danielle and Mohamed lore comes out. This is where the bulk of Danielle's criminal past is revealed, the domestic violence calls, the evictions, and of course, stinky hoo-ha gate is going to come about as a result of this explosive two-part tell-all. Which reminds me, it's really a shame that production now splits these tell-alls into 17 episodes. They were actually good back when they were just genuinely all of the highlights. Now that they show us every second of footage from every possible angle, and it's always stuff we've seen in the trailer, the tell-alls suck. For me, they're the worst part of the season now, even though back in the day, they were some of the best episodes of the season.
Hi everybody, I'm Shawn Robinson. Joining me are Mohamed and Danielle, probably the most talked about couple this season. They are not sitting together, they're sitting separately. Every time something like that happens, he's on the phone calling the cops. I have 10 police reports on me.
Having read many of these police reports, my thoughts on this are maybe don't sneak attack marriage counseling Mohamed in the car. One of those police reports said she pulled the emergency brake while they were driving. Do you know how much crazier it is to pull the emergency brake while somebody's driving than it is to call the police because somebody pulled the emergency brake while you were driving? But at the same time, if you look through these reports, some of them are Mohamed calling police because of stuff people are writing on social media. Dispatch advised caller who wished to report a fake Facebook account while being used to slander him. Caller further stated they have attempted to contact Facebook, reference this matter, and so far, no action has been taken on their part. A lot of people around this time in the show were accusing Mohamed of trying to build up a case against Danielle in case he was told that he was going to be deported. All available officers. Yeah, we got a caller over on Columbus. Looks like it's a Jabali Mohamed. Oh, great. He's saying that Danielle keeps logging in under his Facebook account and changing his profile name to #1 user.
You're a user, Mohamed.
She lied to me, but not only about her finances, about everything. She never told me that she has a lot of debts. She never told me that she has criminal record. She never told me that she stole a credit card and she spent time in jail because of that.
Ultimately, Danielle hiding from Mohamed that she was in a terrible financial position is going to cause the fans to turn on her somewhat years later. In large part due to internet PIs who went and looked up all of the court records. Danielle has over 20 cases on her record, ranging from credit card fraud, unpaid rent and restitution, writing bad checks, as well as multiple evictions.
There is even domestic violence with her son.
But of course, the thing that had people talking after this tell-all wasn't Danielle's eviction record. It was Danielle and Mohamed's sex life.
We started facing a problem. Instead of taking care of that problem, she was like fighting with me over it. No man in the world can accept that. She was sitting on the floor, crying, screaming in front of her teenagers. I want my tonight. If you don't give me...
Thank you, Lauren, for that reaction face. Obviously, nobody saw this coming.
If you don't give me my tonight, I will call the immigration. I will get you deported.
And Danielle does not deny this. Instead, she reveals on national television that her coochie smells like a hot fish sandwich.
He has told people that I smell.
You think that's it? It's not.
And I peed on him.
Excuse me, what?
I do eat on him.
Okay.
They keep cutting back to the green room, and I can't decide if this was the moment they realized they had made a major mistake not keeping the rest of the cast out there with them so they could get their reactions on stage with them, or whether this was actually a great decision because it allowed Danielle to reveal all of this stuff. Either way, I was wishing they would do like an 8-person split cam so I could see every single person's reaction as this was being revealed. This is maybe the most shocking thing that's ever been revealed in a tell-all up to this point, and I just love the magic of reality TV. The few moments when it's real, and this is real, you can see literal, actual shock on the other cast members' faces. These people are genuinely shocked. I was shocked rewatching the scene, and I knew it was coming. Now, I personally was horrified by this segment. The other cast members, when they bring them back on stage, they're all like, come on, Mohamed, why wouldn't you just stick your d in the petri dish?
But if I love my husband, I would like to make love to him all the time. I don't think you were ever in love, because if you're in love, you want to make it work. Like, you want to be together and like make these things work.
I just want to know, did you guys like consummate your marriage?
This is a wild reaction here. Mohamed is having to translate his responses to English inside his head, so he's obviously at a disadvantage. Because if it's me, I'm like, I'm sorry, would you be riding your husband's D if it smelled like it had been marinating in a vat of hot cottage cheese?
So much cheese.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Of all the things they could have grilled Mohamed for, them grilling him about not having when he was repulsed is exactly the kind of attitude I would expect a crowd led by Lauren to have. I cannot tell you how differently I would have reacted. I would have been like, in front of your kids? In front of your kids? Those poor teens who watched you pay thousands to bring them over here while not being able to pay the utility bills? Those teens? Dear God, I hope they've gotten some therapy for that. I wasn't even there, and I feel like I need to run this by my therapist. Of course, this segment does kind of prove Danielle's point that Mohamed would use his religion to avoid being affectionate with Danielle. We've all seen that humiliating wedding clip where he reveals to the crowd he's not gonna kiss his bride during Ramadan. But Danielle says they actually banged before he even came to America, long before they were married.
My wife. We had sex before we got married, and when I seen you in Doha. So what's the difference?
So he could have sex with her before marriage, but he couldn't give her a peck on the lips during Ramadan? Really, it's the cast and Danielle who all keep pushing Mohamed to talk about this. Why? They're all doing the preacher why meme. Why didn't you have sex with Danielle, Mohamed? So he's forced to say why.
She needs to see a doctor before she has sex with someone. I asked her to go and see a doctor.
Danielle walks off the set at the point that Mohamed starts screaming, "She needs to see a doctor," over and over. Everyone keeps calling Mohamed mean, but really, this is y'all's fault. You guys pushed this man into having to justify not having sex with Danielle. Of course, I do feel for Danielle, but, you know, as somebody who's a part of the team that is occasionally referred to as carpet munchers, it's pretty important to me that area be taken care of. I'm pretty sympathetic to somebody wanting their partner to get that taken care of. Lesbians are all just car mechanics that value getting the oil changed regularly. Okay, I hope that metaphor makes sense. At the same time, this is humiliating for Danielle. I do feel so bad for her and for this being on national television. It's like, it's always gonna be out there haunting her. I am a woman. I have had yeast infections, and I used to play a lot of golf. And sometimes things would get, oh my God, where am I going with this? One thing I find fascinating is how a lot of fans really blame Mohamed for this storyline. But for me, that just isn't what I watched. I saw a man trying to answer this difficult question without revealing this information initially. And Danielle is the one who actually says it for the first time. She's the one who puts those words out into the universe.
He has told people that I smell.
I was trying to protect Danielle from saying that information for over 2 years now, until she said it by herself on camera.
Mohamed clarifies, he wasn't saying nobody would have sex with Danielle. He was saying nobody would have sex with that smelly pussy. I actually think nobody would have sex with that smelly pussy is worse than nobody would have sex with you. Of course, our amazing host Sean is like, I didn't see anything in my TLC contract about smelly vaginas and pee stuff. I'm out. I'm pulling the plug on the smelly pussy segment. I'm out. I did not. This is not how I'm gonna be remembered in the Tell Nothing Host Hall of Fame. It's just way too entertaining. We got Daya's husband's rap segment to get to.
I don't like. I complained about.
You know what? I don't even want to know.
Then,
yes,
then
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This season, Brett surprised us all when he showed off his rapping skills.
Me and Mohamed ain't got much in common. I ain't never met a woman at Walmart shopping. If you get deported, can you just be honest? Did you ever love her? Did she make the D go bonkers?
In case you missed it, that last line was, did she make the D go bonkers? Should I do a video on all the horrible music that has come out as a result of this franchise? That sounds kind of fun. The explosive tell-all ends up lighting a fire under Danielle's ass. She comes back after Hoo-Ha Gate, and she's a woman on a mission. A new mission. The new old mission. Mission Get Mohamed Deported. Again.
I want to get him deported.
Mohamed comes back into town, promptly runs out of gas, and this man has the balls to call Danielle and ask her to come get him. Luckily, Danielle's onto his
I've gotten stronger, and I've learned his tricks. He cannot convince me this time to pull the annulment.
This is so fascinating to me. It's like watching a cult member trying to leave the cult. Production gets the two of them to meet up again, and this old pony still has a few tricks in her. The old Danielle and Mohamed pony.
How you doing?
Fine.
Mohamed sits down all smiley-faced, and they pan to Danielle, who has this scour on her face. This is Ali vs. Frazier, with Danielle confusedly playing the role of Muhammad Ali. Don't come for me, boxing people. Danielle is ready. She is not playing. Muhammad will not be getting one over on her this time.
I met with a lawyer.
Muhammad tells Danielle he's now out of status, and she gets the biggest grin on her face.
They can't just come to me and tell me you need to leave the country right now. So it's getting more complicated. So I'm just looking for making things better. I'm apologizing again for so many things I said.
What am I seeing? This is not the Muhammad we know. The Muhammad I know would be treating her like that's what she wants. Remember in the car last season when you berated her into pulling the annulment? He should be dangling, maybe I'll unblock your number in her face.
Muhammad's being friendly and even polite. This is not how Muhammad has acted towards me in the past.
I told you, his first mistake was calling her and asking her to come help with the gas thing. You should have called her and been like, bitch, I need gas.
He thinks that if he's nice enough, I will pull the annulment, but he don't know the new me.
I'm loving the work Danielle's bangs are putting into her post-Mohamed era. They're almost like a shield for Mohamed's hotness. It's like, you're not gonna get me to pull the moment this time. Have my swoopy bangs to protect me. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. I blocked your hotness with my bangs. You basically look like a 70-year-old sack of potatoes to me. In a move that feels like production looking for the same fireworks they got in the Miami evidence binder throwdown, production has Mohamed meet with Danielle's family, who already hated him before he took off and told the world he couldn't bang her because of her stinky
I am not gonna stand behind a marriage that is a sham.
They choose to do the meetup the classy way, in a parking lot at night outside Barry's restaurant.
You guys did not give me any chance.
Wait,
Let me finish. You can't say.
It does not go well.
You hurt her and you messed my whole family up.
I want to throw this out there, and this is unsubstantiated. I have no evidence. I wonder at what point and who realized, well, there's no Danielle and Mohamed if Mohamed gets deported. And you read a lot online and even hear from other friends how popular this couple was for the show. I don't think it's a stretch to throw out there the idea that maybe rather than Danielle being duped twice in a row, is she maybe humoring all this because she wants to stay on the show a little longer? Danielle's family is so hard on her, but you can understand their position. She screams from the top of her lungs she hopes he gets deported, and then she gives us this.
I will always care for him, and I don't know how I'm going to handle it if he gets deported.
Danielle, where are your bangs? This is supposed to be your Mohamed swoopy bangs era. Really, I think the problem is she needs her evidence binder.
Mohamed started posting pictures of a woman.
She's a promotional Hooters waitress.
We're still married. It's not right. He's said it a couple times that he loved me because of my inner beauty. But yet, each time he gets with someone else, they're like skinnier, prettier.
So Danielle, who herself at this point says that she has a boyfriend, is mad at Mohamed for hanging out with hot chicks. She must be triggered from when he left the first time, but at this point, it shouldn't matter. He's told her 8 million times their relationship isn't going to work. And did I mention at this point, Danielle also had a long distance boyfriend? One who conveniently lives 6 hours away, so he doesn't have to help her move, but have you ever helped somebody move? It's the worst. Look, I paid my dues in my 20s.
Danielle and Mohamed have been in the courthouse for about 15 minutes. What happened?
My lawyer advised me to just go ahead and convert it to a divorce. The judge said it would be very hard for me to win if it goes to trial. My lawyer advised me to settle today on a divorce.
It does hurt that I couldn't prove fraud because I feel like no one's ever going to believe me.
I actually think in the court of public opinion, you got a case here, Danielle. I mean, even the people who usually defend Mohamed lead with, he was definitely using her for the green card, but that man deserved it after everything he put up with. Did you see the state of her home? I do think if Danielle had been allowed to use some of the footage from the show and just like showed his face when he arrived in America and he had like prison face half the time, I do think that might have been convincing. That segment where he specifically mentions the percentage of their marriage that was based around love, that segment, I think, show that to a judge and he's gonna go,
Look what Mohamed just posted on his Facebook page. It says, I am divorced.
He couldn't even give me a day just to process it. I haven't even talked to my kids, so they're gonna find out from social media what has happened.
This ages terribly. The girls, who we watch find out from Danielle about the divorce, are very much shoulder shrug on the whole thing.
So we are officially divorced today. So I am going to go meet him.
I'm watching this scene where they're all, cool, what's for lunch? And then I'm like, Remember 5 seconds ago when Danielle was melting down over not getting a chance to tell her family first?
So they're gonna find out from social media.
This is what is truly entertaining about Danielle. It's the delusion that keeps us coming back. It's the, how can he do this to my family? All right, moving on. Post-breakup, single life, their fame. After the second season of 90 Day Happily Ever After, Mohamed became a truck driver and kind of faded away from the show for a bit. He'll be back for Pillow Talk later on, but in the meantime, production chooses to focus on Danielle in their new spin-off show, The Single Life.
I'm Danielle, I'm 47, and I'm from Sedona.
She starts things off in confessional, crying.
It made me wonder if I made the right decision in bringing him here. And then the tell-all happened.
Nobody will have sex with someone like you.
God, they loved playing that Lauren Shockface clip.
You.
Hi, guys. I have new people in my life.
One of the more surprising elements to Danielle's post-Mohamed 90-day life is when she comes on screen and tells us she's now a popular girl and has found, or rather been found, by a group of 3 brunette women from Maryland.
I have 3 close friends in Maryland.
I'm like, where's Beth? I got used to that old biddy and her raspy smoker's voice. Did Beth and Danielle have a falling out? If you ask the internet streets, they will tell you that Beth got pregnant, which I find shocking. Her Instagram is interesting. She posted this court doc in December of 2020 against, I assume, her nemesis. Remember this crybaby gang who dishes it out and then runs to court when you finally respond? Hope you are restraining your baby in a car seat now, but I'm the bad parent, huh? Beth, I am the bad parent, huh? Whatever the reason, out with Beth and with 3 millennials.
Lexi, Lauren, and Michelle. They're like 20 years between us.
Between us. That's such a cute 90-day older woman way of saying younger than.
We met on social media.
Like many fans, am so torn on how to feel about this new friendship. Part of me is like, good for her. The other part of me is like, oh no, this feels familiar.
We messaged Danielle on Instagram. She's so friendly and quirky and interesting.
Am I crazy? Or is this like an intro segment to a new couple? Also, it's weird that the friends as a group decided to approach Danielle. And there's no sex involved, but they approached her the way a couple at a bar looking for a third approaches someone. I'm walking a very fine line here of being a huge jerk that's saying Danielle's incapable of befriending hotter, younger women. That's not what I'm saying, but the way they became friends with her by sliding into her DMs just has me side-eyeing a little bit. Like, did the show pay these girls to come on and be her friend? No. The answer is no. They barely even pay the couples. I will say the way they sort of take Danielle on as a project, it just felt different when it was Beth and her working out together. This feels like an early 2000s movie where the 3 girls have a bet going and Danielle's the bet, but she doesn't know it. But by the end of the movie, they will have genuinely become friends with the bet, only to have Danielle find out about the bet. But then by the end of the movie, decide everything's okay and we're all still friends. There's a scene where they put extensions in her hair and they're like, this is it. This is your glow up. Even though it's very much a glow down for me, hair-wise. This is what y'all are gonna let her go out with? Hair-wise? And on Pillow Talk, every single cast member was like, oh, she looks amazing. I think I just watch way too much Housewives where they get eviscerated if a track is showing or looks out of line. So in addition to being her makeover crew, they are also Danielle's matchmakers. They find some guy for her to go out with, but then they're like, oh, but we are gonna go on the date with you. Oh, no, you guys are terrible matchmakers. You're like the hot friend he's gonna be distracted by. If they were truly Danielle's friends, they would have showed up disheveled with spaghetti stains all down the front of their outfits. But these look like they're ready for the club. Actually, this scene really kind of brings me back. Speaking of the early 2000s, I noticed the girls do have a little bit of an early 2000s aesthetic to them. And they remind me of the 3 women from the 3rd season of White Lotus. Not that they're like those characters in any way, but that they're 3 women combined into one personhood. The girls' trip they all go on with Danielle produces not 1, but 2 blind dates. I'm trying really hard not to judge this guy on his jaw movements.
So where are you from?
Ohio.
She looks like a chill person. She's cool people for sure.
He seems nice, but also...
What kind of TV do you like watching?
Shows with snakes and monsters. Are you staying at the hotel?
Yeah.
I'm staying at the hotel. We can just get an Uber together.
He was tired. He's been up 24 hours.
I have to say, I did some Insta research, and it looks like they have all stayed friends. At least as of 23 weeks ago. I think this is one of the 3 girls. So at first I was like, well, I'm a I assumed the worst, but actually they're all still totally friends with her, even after the cameras turned off. But they did get a lot of backlash when The Single Life aired. Danielle's friends from Single Life are totally just clout chasers. I was watching The Single Life last night, and the friends Danielle went to MD with are really sus to me. It's giving me popular girls befriend the nerd to secretly make fun of her kind of vibes. If they're playing 4D chess, if it was me, and I had somehow gotten my way onto a TV show, but it subsequently looked like I had just tried to get onto a TV show, I would absolutely throw Danielle a bone from time to time, just to keep up appearances and prove them wrong. Like, I would stay friends with her until the end of time, just in case one single person went and checked online. I'm not saying that's what they did, but it's what I would do. I would be like, it's 2065 and I'm at Danielle's funeral. You were wrong. Okay, I've given you a little teaser, but now I really want to dig into Danielle's post-Mohamed dating life, which is just as entertaining as her Mohamed dating life. The first person who enters her world after Mohamed is Gabe.
Doing good. You been working out at home?
No.
No.
Gabe lives in Indiana.
I'm planning on coming to see you. Hey, I'm only 4 hours driving from you.
There's the thing of you still being married.
It's just like, this can't be good, right? This guy? Muscle shirt guy? Come on. I'm not saying she has to go find some uggo, but how about a guy your own age?
Gabe is someone I met online.
At this point, this woman has learned exactly nothing from the Mohamed debacle. She is still going after younger dudes who clearly just want to take advantage of her.
Having a younger, handsome guy does give you an ego boost.
Never in my life have I been a positive affirmations person, but holy hell, anything would be better than going on national television embarrassing yourself over and over again with guys that are just using you. This is the dabs of ego boosting. It'll last for 5 seconds and then you'll be back to feeling like crap when he runs down to Miami to be with women his own age.
When Gabe is flirtatious with me, it makes me feel like a woman.
So does listening to You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Like, I feel so powerful when I listen to that song. I get it, Danielle. It is an ego boost when people compliment you. But thankfully, Gabe pieces out for a little while so we can get the legendary tale of Nelson.
Nelson is someone that I've been talking to online. I'm getting ready to go to Maryland.
Nelson happens to live 6 hours away, so we watch her start to make the drive. And she calls him, and I'm like, oh no.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
I'm the Gino with the hand over mouth reaction with Josh on my shoulder. It doesn't just go to voicemail, it rings once and then goes to voicemail. That's not an organic voicemail. Everyone knows if you don't want the person you're ghosting to know that you're ghosting them, you have to let it ring through. This guy can't even be bothered to wait the extra 10 seconds to make it appear like he truly isn't available. And Danielle is like a goldfish that has no idea why it's driving 6 hours away to meet somebody who just pressed the end call button after one ring. Of course, a few hours later, she calls again. And it just keeps going to voicemail.
At the tone, please record your message.
Hi, Nelson. This is Danielle. I'll be there soon. Haven't heard from you.
she finally shows up at his house. You gave this woman your address, but you couldn't give her a text to save her 12 hours worth of gas? And oh, it's just brutal when she calls and gets the mailbox is full message.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept new messages.
It's like, did Danielle fill it up on the drive over with all the voicemails? And as she is driving away, I had this thought watching of like, maybe he doesn't even live in the state he told her he lived in. Maybe he doesn't even live in America. After Nelson, a brief reappearance from Gabe, and the blind dates that the Maryland friends had her go on, we finally get an actual viable option. A man who doesn't seem like he's just trying to scam Danielle out of her last 75 cents.
Oh, baby, quit!
Hello.
Hello. Axe throwing is not something I would normally do. There is the fear of looking stupid.
You can see why they keep bringing Danielle back. Even watching her axe throwing is just pure entertainment. Maybe it's the fact that he isn't coming off a 24-hour bender, but I really like Robert and I find myself really rooting for this relationship. But she does have a meltdown at the sheer mention of her marriage to Mohamed.
How long have you been divorced? And
I need a minute. I need a minute. I've never had to tell it to another man before.
She literally runs away and hides. I mean, I am sorry. If this happens to me on a date, I am running for the hills. I am out of there. Oh, just mentioning your ex brings an automatic meltdown? Check, please. Then she actually tells Robert about her smelly vagina.
My ex-husband, he had said that no man would ever want to sleep with me. He was accusing me of smelling and stuff like that.
And I'm guessing maybe production forced her to do this. I just, otherwise it makes no sense, but it is wild watching his face react to this in real time. His face is an emotional Switzerland. We have no idea how he's feeling. Although, I have a few guesses. Robert actually reacts to this perfectly.
I understand, because I've had some of the same issues. I have pretty bad self-esteem issues myself, but you try to get past it.
Mm-hmm. I'm slow too. I'm not one to go sleep around with people.
Oh, please, Danielle. You would have gone to the drug den to buy his drugs if that tweaker had promised you a peek at his peen. You are many things, but chaste is not one of them. Things with Robert do not end up working out. I don't know. Sometimes I get the feeling that Mohamed was the love of Danielle's life, and nobody else will ever compare. And that's really sad. Mohamed and Danielle reconcile. In the beginning of Danielle's last full 90-day season, The Single Life, Danielle tells us Mohamed had started texting again and being friendly a few years after the divorce. Although on Pillow Talk, Mohamed said it was Danielle who contacted him first. Whoever started it, they both agreed to come on camera together again and meet up at a diner in Ohio, with Mohamed rocking the just came out of a shoe polish shower look.
The way you say I left you in your lowest, I mean, I apologize that you felt like that. I never meant to do anything in purpose to hurt you.
Danielle gets a half-assed apology, as she puts it, but it seems to work. Things feel amicable when they leave the diner. And years later, we now see them interacting with each other, sometimes on social media, being friendly towards each other, and publicly classifying each other as friends. I will say, I have bought some cameos from Danielle. I highly recommend them. They're very cheap. She only charges $20, but she's really great on Cameo. And I will say that the vibe I have gotten is not that they're like best friends, but more that they are just amicable with each other, and that, Mohamed is still kind of the one with all the power who, he will sometimes text back, sometimes not, but it's on him when they communicate. So, which I think she's fine with. Before I talk about some other life updates for Danielle and Mohamed, I do want to go over just some funny or random things that happened on the show. And I didn't know where else to put them in the video, but I also couldn't not talk about them. I will start with this clip from their first season when Danielle's friend, who married an Egyptian Muslim, comes over to teach her how to make instant potatoes.
Yeah?
It's me.
My friend, Angie. She's become an important person in my life, advising me on Mohammed's culture, the different foods that he eats.
I'm making potatoes bread.
Was it hard getting used to cooking halal?
Halal.
Season 2 of Happily Ever After shows us that Mohammed has been driving for a living, and then it immediately shows Mohammed running out of gas and calling Danielle to come help him.
Hello?
Hello, I think I have a problem.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm stuck in the highway and I just ran out of gas.
And I said, okay, I'm going to stop, but I kept thinking and thinking. I forgot about the gas. I just ran out of the gas.
I'm not saying I've never run out of gas before, because I definitely have. But I was a teenager and I wasn't going around telling people I was driving for a living. Hey, yeah, you got an infestation, all right. And you called the right exterminator. However, we did just run out of insecticides. Don't worry. I brought a guitar so we can music them to death. Okay, so we've identified the fire and where all the flames are. But we did run out of hoses, so I'm gonna need you to go get your 4-iron if you want any chance of me getting water out of that fire hydrant. Also, we ran out of fire trucks, so I'm gonna need you to give me a boost. Honestly, at this point in the timeline, I'm wondering if both Mohammed and Danielle have realized they're the most popular couple on the show, because it's an interesting choice for him to choose to call Danielle, who is currently busy trying to get him deported.
I was very surprised that he reached out to me. I don't know what he was thinking.
I know what he was thinking. I can make that woman do anything I want her to. Also, Danielle's surprise reads more like jubilation to me. There is one instance in which I would like to acknowledge the soundtrack in Happily Ever After Season 2, Episode 3. We go round and around and around and around and around and around and back again. I'm sorry, that was 6 rounds we just got in that chorus to intro this Danielle scene. And the editors so agree with my Ali Frazier reference. Don't at me, people who know about boxing. I just love when the editors choose songs that are so on the money. Like if Bravo is about to show some housewife screaming, they will often choose a song that's like, I'm screaming! Or if a housewife is like in the process of getting a divorce, it'll be like, I'm getting divorced. There is also a Leanne Rimes style, I'm gonna keep on fighting, after Danielle goes to yell at Mohammed in his hotel, and she's like, I will never stop trying to get you deported. I'll be the last one standing. You'll never take me down. She actually never got him deported, as we all know. But still, a powerful moment for Danielle here.
I don't deal with the kids' dad because he's with someone that I used to be friends with.
Another jaw dropper is learning Danielle's kid's father got with their mutual friend and Danielle's former co-worker.
I used to be friends with her. I used to be a co-worker with her. And she used to come over to my house for pure romance parties to buy stories.
What?
That's my word. And she used to live in front of us.
If any of the kids out there are planning on writing a book about living through Danielle and Mohammed, give us an update on your dad and the pure romance lady. Would love to know how that ended up.
You already look really good. I like this haircut that we did. She's beautiful inside and out. I think this makeover is exactly what my mom needed to feel good about herself.
I look so good. Thank you, Kylie.
You're welcome.
Danielle impressed many a 90 Day fan when she posted recently that she has graduated from nursing school. Recently being December of 2024.
Danielle Jabali.
That's right, she is now officially a registered nurse. When I tell you the excitement the fans felt over this was palpable, I mean, it was just so much love and support on all the social media posts. I mean, there were a few jokes about, oh, maybe I wouldn't want her to be the one to install my catheter. But for the most part, the fans have given Danielle her flowers. She has said on social media that she is doing better financially. I assume her paycheck is much higher now. Also, her kids are probably reaching a point where they're less of a financial burden to her. All in all, it seems like Danielle is thriving. What about Mohamed?
Right now, I am truck driver. This is my place, so let me give you a tour of my truck. I sit here for at least 11 hours a day. This is my bedroom. It's very, very comfortable. It's a queen size.
Mohamed became a trucker, as we saw earlier in the video, which has always gotten a ton of support from the fans and the audience. People are just really sick of some of these reality stars, Josh, coming onto the show and just so clearly trying to parlay it into an influencer career. Frankly, I don't have that much of a problem as long as they're an actual entertaining character and it's not just 100% fake bullshit because they want to make money off the show, which is Josh. So because of that, it makes the ones who work like trucker jobs seem even better and more amazing and more down to earth. So the fans have totally supported Mohamed in that career. Mohamed gets a lot of props for playing nice with Danielle. I do think Mohamed went through hell when he moved to America, and I give him props as well. But like I said, I don't know that their friendship is quite as tight as some fans believe, in part because Mohamed has been very busy. A couple of years ago, he got married, and he recently had his first child that he announced in February of 2025 on Instagram. His wife's name is Jillian, and that's pretty much all we know about her. Mohamed and Jillian both recently wiped their social media accounts. Okay, Amanda, from a few hours, likely before I am publishing this, Mohamed's wife Jillian's account is no longer wiped, as you can see. I think because, or maybe in order to announce they are pregnant with their second child. So, some pretty cool posts on the beach there, and then Jillian looking stunning, showing us her, I think, what is her with her second child. So, congrats to Mohamed and Jillian Jabelli on their second child. At one point in their story, Danielle talks about how she felt when she visited Mohamed in Tunisia that he was more affectionate towards her.
What he showed me when I went to visit ain't the person that came here. When I went to see him, he showed me the affection. As soon as he got here, he didn't show me the affection hardly at all.
If this is true, it could easily be interpreted as him selling her on the marriage, because we never saw a single second of that type of affection once he got to America. That being said, Danielle has admitted that she kept things from him because she thought it would stop him from coming. And that is the same thing. They were both selling each other a story in order to get what they wanted. Mohamed was selling Danielle on, "Oh, I'm in love with you," which that dude needs to work in sales, because what a sale! Danielle was selling him on, "Oh, I'm financially secure. I'm normal." I mean, I love Danielle. I really do, but she is not your average person. She is a little bit different. For instance, she struggled with her hygiene. That is not something he could necessarily foresee if she only visited him a couple of times, and most of their relationship was over FaceTime or text. At the end of this journey, I find that the fans have essentially agreed with Danielle and Mohamed to forgive and forget. They're friends now. It's a wash. And they should be friends because they're both at fault. And they both used each other. This is one of those rare instances in a reality show where I think the majority of fans are in agreement with each other. I mean, I don't want to speak for someone else, which I actively am, but this is just the sentiment in any comment section related to anything Danielle and Mohamed. They all say how at first it seemed like Mohamed was the only bad guy, but in hindsight, Danielle was a user too.